Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is a little special. I have my daughter Emma here with me. We're going to be going over all of the books that she read for 5th grade, whether they were independents or read-alouds. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Nicole. I'm a homeschooling mom / part-time working at home mom. I have a 10-year-old daughter who's going into 6th grade and my son is 4 going into pre-K. All right, guys, so I'm really excited to have my daughter here with me. She wanted to do this and tell you guys about her favorite books. She loves reading.
I love it.
Which I love that she loves reading. Okay, so before we go into it, why don't you tell them how many books you think you read during the 5th grade year?
Probably about 40 books.
Yeah, I would say that's right. And some of them are pretty big books too. So, okay, so why don't you tell us what your favorite genre of books is?
I like romance, I really like fantasy, and I like the scary mysteries.
Scary mysteries, yeah. Okay, why don't we start with our read-alouds and then go into independence? Okay, so let's start with Otter by Catherine Applegate.
We love Catherine Applegate.
Yeah,
she wrote this 4-book series, The One and Only Ivan, and other books.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good that was a good series. And so after that, we started reading more of her books.
And this one was in verse form.
I feel like they all are.
Well, I think this one was like more in verse form than the other ones.
It's a really cute story.
It is. It does definitely have some sad parts in it. But yeah, we really like this. But we will never forget One and Only Bob. And never. He's hilarious and we love him. Yeah. All right, so the next read aloud that we read, which I think was at the beginning of the year, was Song for a Whale. My friend's borrowing the book, so we don't have the actual copy. But this is about a deaf girl who ends up connecting with a whale who also has trouble communicating with other whales. The frequency that he sings at is different, and so he keeps getting abandoned by pods and is just kind of alone in the ocean. So how'd you feel about this book?
I think it was kind of boring at times.
Yeah,
but
it was.
But there were some parts in it that were really good, like how she was trying really hard to get to the whale. Like she literally went on a cruise to try to get to it, and
tricked her parents with her grandma and went on a cruise.
And one other. But yeah, but it gave a really good message.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but you gave that what, 3.5 stars?
Close to 4.
Close to 4. Okay. And then here's one that we did not finish. This is Wish.
Yeah, it was saying like stupid and like other words. And it was kind of...
It was very negative.
Yeah, and it's just the girl's parents. It wasn't... I didn't really like it. Mom didn't really like it. It's just what was in it.
Yeah, it was, I'm sure that as we got further, it might have been better. I just wasn't necessarily comfortable with all the topics in it. So yeah, we stopped that one. Here's another read aloud we did, The Griffins of Castle Carey. This is scary in my opinion. My daughter did not think it was scary because she loves scary mysteries. This one we read in October. You want to tell us about it?
This is about 3 siblings, Meg, Will, and Ariel, going off to live with their aunt for a little bit in England and her really big dog.
Yeah. It's a Newfoundland, I think.
Yeah, and so the town that they're in has a lot of like ghost stuff, and they're trying to like figure it all out. And once Ariel, you know, the little sister, accidentally befriends a ghost who thought was a little girl like her.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Meg and Will had to try to stop Ariel from, like, I'm pretty sure...
The ghost wanted to take her over and make it her daughter that had died.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. It was definitely a mystery. It got pretty intense at times, so I would definitely screen this. What did you think? How many stars would you give this?
I would give it a 5. It was a really good book. There was just so many things happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one topic.
Yeah, so you think it was pretty exciting? Okay. Okay, this next book, The Vanderbeekers of 141st Street, we ended up not finishing. We tried to read this in December, and it just was a little... Why do you think we stopped reading it?
It was a little boring and not really the type of book I would like to read.
Yeah, and it felt almost a little young for kind of some of the stuff that she had been reading. So I'm going to keep it for Grayson, but yeah, she just wasn't really that into it, so... All right. The next read aloud we did, Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry.
Usually I'm not really into the historical books, but this one was really good. It had sad, it was just, there were a lot of, there's a lot of sad parts, happy parts. It was a really good book.
Do you think you liked it so much because we had just finished a Martin Luther King unit?
Yeah, that's probably why.
So like you kind of understood what was going on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love this.
I love it so much. I remembered a poem from it, and it's been a while.
Yeah, she did memorize the poem. We tried to start reading the second one, Let the Circle Be Unbroken. We stopped. We're going to be finishing it this year. And why did we stop?
We just couldn't handle it. It just, TJ could be killed. It was super sad.
Yeah, it was a lot of sad between this and it got more intense. We just needed a break, but we're going to finish it.
Yeah, I even cried.
Yeah, I cried too. Don't feel bad. I cried too. We both cried. It was very intense. So we're going back to it. Okay, so our last read aloud for the year, we did not do as many read alouds as I had tried to do, but next year we're going to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the last one was Anne of Green Gables.
This is definitely a 5-star. It's such a heartwarming story. There's some parts, there's words in it that I don't know.
Yeah, they were quite good.
I just asked Mom what they mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love Anne of Green Gables.
And she's watched all the 80s Anne of Green Gables with me. We love those. But would you say this was different than the movie?
I mean, yeah, but I feel like there's more stuff in this one than there is in there. Yeah,
definitely. And I don't have the book with me, but we also read Anne of the Avonlea. We just finished that up. What do you think about that compared to this one?
Anne of Avonlea, okay, it's kind of boring. Yeah. I mean, they didn't miss out a lot of parts. Like, the movie missed out a lot of parts. Like, they had twins, and they didn't even say that there. And that's like a big, important part. Yeah, Marilla and Anne adopted twins that they're taking care of. So, yeah, that's definitely off script.
I mean, there were some good parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to this one, it's been hard. We ended up listening to most of it, and yeah, it took us a while to get through it.
But I do like the second one because I feel like Gilbert and Anne are getting closer.
Yes. You definitely see how their relationship really does foster, and like you get to learn about all the town and everyone's relationship with Anne. So we're going to continue it. It just might not be so fast.
Okay.
Hi guys, this is Editing Nicole. I realized that we completely forgot one of our favorite read-alouds, which is Wish Tree by Catherine Applegate. As we mentioned earlier in the video, we really love anything Catherine Applegate. We think she's a phenomenal author, and this story was no different. It had a great message in it, which I really appreciated, and my daughter gave it 4.5 stars, so definitely recommend this book.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to all of Emma's independent reads. Like I said, there are some we left out, mainly the scary mystery. If you're interested in that, let us know. So what do you want to start with, Emma?
I'll start with The Keeper of the Lost Cities.
Okay, that's good.
So...
You want me to hold it?
Yeah. Okay. This is about a 12-year-old girl named Sophie who actually goes to school and she actually goes to high school because how smart she is. And her class is being taken to a museum. That's where she meets Fitz, someone like her. She's a telepath, by the way. And he takes her to this like magical land where she meets other people like her, just with different powers. She's an elf, by the way.
Elf and a telepath.
Yeah, she actually has a lot more powers through the series, but that's what she started with. And she goes to Foxfire Academy. She meets, she gets new parents. Yeah, and they also had to make her parents before that, like, in her human life, forget about her. She was really sad about that.
Oh, that is sad.
And at the end of it, her and her best friend Dex get kidnapped by, they don't know this yet, but by the Never Seen. Or they don't know that yet, but the Black Swan actually saves her, and they don't know that yet, but you know.
So you read how many of these books in this series have you completed so far?
4. I've been meaning to read the 5th one. It's just I have so many books, but
because you're probably halfway through the 5th one, right? Now these are pretty thick. So this first one is about 500 pages. Here's the second one that she read. So if you can see, they're getting thicker. This one has...
You should see how big Nightfall is. It's ginormous.
Yeah. This one has almost 600. And then the third one is probably the same size, a little bigger than the first one. This is many pages is this? Geez, 600. And then
I've never seen.
Yeah, this one's pretty thick too. Okay. This one is 650. So she has read halfway through the 5th book, which is a little bit fatter than this one. So they're pretty big. You went through those really quickly, like really quickly. And then what happened? Did you just start reading other books?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so why don't you start on with the next series?
This is the Rise and Fall of the School for Good and Evil. This is the first one, Rise of the School for Good and Evil. It is about 2 twin brothers, Rion and Fall. They don't look the same, but they're the schoolmasters of the School for Good and Evil. Now, and the schoolmasters are supposed to protect the Storian by, like, the schoolmasters have to love each other. But it's a story telling about how they slowly stop loving each other. Their powers start slipping away. They lose their immortality.
Their mortality?
Immortality, yeah. Yeah, and then...
And this is a prequel, right? Because you have the rise of the School of Good and Evil, and then you have the fall of this Good and Evil, School of Good and Evil, and then you have the actual School of Good and Evil series, right? Okay, so she read this one first. She found from the library.
The second one is basically where Peter Pan from Neverland tries to be the schoolmaster of the School for Good and Evil. I feel like Peter Pan was more evil in the book.
Was he?
Yeah. And when it ended, I had to read the 6-book series.
Okay, so what's the first book for the 6-book series that you read this year?
The School for Good and Evil. This is the collector's edition, not the main one, but yeah. So this is about 2 girls, Agatha and Sophie. Sophie believing she's going to go in the school for good, Agatha the evil, but really Sophie's in the evil and Agatha goes in the good. It's really showing how their lives are and how their lives are at the school for good and evil. And a lot happens. And I would recommend reading Rise of the School for Evil and Fall of the School for Good and Evil before, because once you really go through the books, then you'll like start to see that reading the 2 books,
the prequels.
The prequel.
Yeah.
Because there's some history, there's some questions that they say in here and stuff and other stuff that you might know the answer to because you read it. Like for example, in book 3 where Sophie asked for Fall, what was your brother's name? And Fall's like, how would that get you to know me better? You'll know what his brother's name. You'll actually know everything. And I felt like that was helpful for some reason.
So that's awesome, baby. How many have you read so far in this series?
I'm almost done with the 3rd book.
Okay, and the reason why we didn't put the 2nd and 3rd here is because she started reading that this summer, which officially is going to go in our 6th grade reads. All right, so why don't you tell us about the next series that you read?
The next series is Harry Potter. I already read the 1st and 2nd one in 4th grade. So this one was just in 5th grade. If you probably all know what Harry Potter is.
Yeah.
But if you don't, the 3rd one is about a boy named Harry Potter, of course. He finds out his godfather is Sirius Black, and he also finds out he's not safe anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was a good one.
The next one is The Goblet of Fire.
Which is a fat book, guys.
Okay.
How many pages do you have? 730.
So this one is the next book, year 4, where Harry Potter accidentally gets picked to go in the Hogwarts tournament. And he's not old enough to, and so he loses all his friends. Nobody really talks to him anymore. It's really sad. But there's a lot of things that happen, so many different games and stuff. Him trying to get the golden egg from the dragon before the dragon kills him. Or it was really sad when Cedric died.
I know. Hey, actually, do you feel like these were very different from the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It gives a lot more detail, especially in this one. So, yeah, I feel like it's a lot different.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go over your other books that you read. We have probably 5 or 6 more here. Sorry, it's going to be a long video.
All right, next one is Seraphina in the Black Cloak. This is about a girl and her pa, as she says it, secretly live in a rich person's basement in their mansion. The father, they know the father. He's an electrician, I'm pretty sure. Electrician, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. And And so it starts out where Seraphina just was walking through the basement. She quickly hides because you see a man in the black cloak taking a girl. It's weird because he puts the girl in this cloak and she suddenly disappears. Soon she has to figure out who's doing it, but a boy named Brayden accidentally sees her while she's investigating, and her pa told her not to let anyone see her. So it kind of goes to how Brayden and Seraphina working together trying to free everyone the man in the black cloak took.
Did you like it?
I'm not done. There's 4 books. I've only read the first one, but I'm trying to work through it.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, what star rating would you give the Keeper of the Lost City series?
I'll give it a 5.
Okay, what about the Harry Potter books you read?
4.5.
4.5, okay. And what about Seraphina and the Black Cloak?
Seraphina in the Black Cloak, probably a 4.
4, okay. And what about the School of Good and Evil series?
1,000.
1,000? Okay. I feel like that's what took over and stopped her from reading the Keeper of the Lost City series, really. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, all right, Emma, why don't you get the next 2 books are kind of the same.
Yeah, it's the Nancy Drew Diaries. It's you probably all know Nancy Drew, but this one's the Nancy Drew Diaries. She's 16 in the Nancy Drew Diaries. And this one is The Haunting at Heliotrope Lane.
Heliotrope, yeah.
And it's supposedly about a haunted mansion that whenever people try to go in, like, it just freaks them out a lot. So Nancy Drew is trying to figure out what's really happened there, if it's haunted or not.
So is it haunted?
You'll have to read to find out.
You're so cute, Emma. Okay. All right, and what's the next one?
The next one, it's been different. That's fine. The next one is The Ghost at Grey Fox Inn. This one's probably my favorite. It's about Nancy Drew and her best friend, and it's about Nancy Drew, Bess, and George, and I'm pretty sure it's George's cousin who's getting married. And they're at this really fancy hotel, and there's supposedly ghost sightings, like ghosts that enter people's beds and stuff. And Nancy Drew has to figure out if it's really a ghost, and if you want to know, you have to find out.
I love that.
But yeah, that one is really good.
That was a library copy, by the way, so yeah. Okay, and then we have, you want to grab that one?
Laura Ingalls Wilder, On the Way Home.
Okay, put it below her.
This is after the Little House books. It's about Laura Almanzo and their kid Rose traveling to their new home. It's basically just Laura's diary, has pictures in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the journal. It just basically is like a normal journal.
And how much did you love the Little House on the Prairie series?
I read it twice, so.
Yeah, and we've watched it a couple times all the way through. Mm-hmm. That's one of our favorites. Actually, you just started watching that again the other day.
Actually, no, it was just one of the movies.
Oh, okay. Okay, and these last 3 books are American Girl books that she loves, and they're her favorites that she read multiple times this year.
So this one is Knowing What to Say. I have a hard time knowing what to say to people sometimes. I'm like, what am I supposed to say when people ask this? So this really helps. Has all the words to fit any situations. There's activities in it. Well, not all of the activities, but there's things you can write down.
Activities, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there's quizzes in here. So, yeah, I like that one. And another one is A Smart Girl's Guide to Boys. I go to this outdoor school, and there's a lot of boy drama there and crushes and stuff. So this actually helps a lot. So yeah, this one also has quizzes. This doesn't have activities in it though, but it has a lot of things that
helped you figure out and navigate the life of boys and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is crushes. I've had like a lot of crushes in my life. So is my friends, and just this kind of is about like a lot of things, like saying no to people, who likes who, flirting, they're like what's flirting and what's not, all of that. There's also quizzes in here too.
Awesome.
So yeah.
All right, guys, those are the independent and read-alouds, except for, like I said, a few of the scary mystery books that she read. So if you have any questions for me or for Emma, who I think did a great job. You did great. You feel like you did?
Yeah, I think I...
Sorry, way to put her on the spot. All right, if you have any questions for us, please let us know. If not, we'll see you in the next video. Bye!